turning to the most important question, will it work? Yes, it's gonna work. So look, Donald Trump is, opening up a can of worms. It's opening a can of worms and demagogues and Beelzebubs, and the things that he's got in his past and the things that he's done as president and before are a parade of horribles. Okay, I mean, one terrible thing after another. It's kind of an ironic phrase that I just used, but anyway, so all you gotta do is open the can. That's all you gotta do. Now, this guy is too corrupt to stop being corrupt. You know, the day that he made the Ukrainian call was right after the Democrats announced they weren't gonna do a goddamn thing about the Mueller report. So he's like, oh, okay, then I guess I can be as corrupt as I like. Hey, investigate Biden, okay? Take him out, Ukraine. By the way, that in itself is illegal, even if it's not a quid pro quo. That is asking a foreign government for assistance in your election. That is totally illegal. So and then the second part of it is he's too stupid to cover it up. So he goes out and he's already told people, oh yeah, I did the call. Yeah, and it was about corruption. And I was holding up the money because of the corruption. Corruption about what? Biden's corrupt. Oh, you idiot, why did you admit that? You're so stupid. Okay, that alone is enough to get him, let alone the obstruction charges on Russia, let alone the fact that his co-conspirator in campaign finance reform violations related to hush money to the porn stars is in prison right now, his co-conspirator. It is clearly illegal, let alone the monuments closed. But most importantly, I mean, look, with Pelosi and the Schiff and all those folks, and Neil for sure.
And the Schiff.
And the Schiff. I'd be surprised if they ever got to the heart of it. But now that Nadler is a little pissed at Pelosi, maybe he's free to not be incompetent. And so look, it's hard to put your
maybe he's free to not be incompetent.
I know, I'm serious, right? To put your chips on any kind of Democratic leadership. But guys, if they even look 5% into his business ties with Russia, this thing is over. By the way, it might be over tomorrow because Donald Trump says he's gonna release the phone call. If he really does, and in the transcripts, you don't need a quid pro quo. You just need him saying to the Ukrainian president, why don't you do me a political favor? Why don't you spend, in essence, when he asks you to investigate Biden, he's asking you to spend money from the Ukrainian government to help him win re-election. It's already over. You just have to be strong. So look, man, I don't know how we could get the Ocasio-Cortez and the Just Democrats to go and somehow be a strong force in this impeachment proceedings. If they are, it's good night, Irene, for Trump. And even if they're not, I think Trump's gonna out-bungle Pelosi into getting kicked out of office.
Look, Trump has been out-bungling everyone. But whether this impeachment inquiry works or not really depends on something that I feel we can relate to. It's not just about putting together a compelling case. It's about messaging, it's about marketing, right? And so what does Trump have over everyone in the Democratic Party? The marketing, the messaging, the right-wing apparatus that pushes out all of the positive Trump stuff and makes it appear as though this is nothing more than a witch hunt. These Democrats just can't win, so they're gonna go ahead and do all these slimy, you know what we're gonna hear from Republicans. They're gonna do these slimy things to push them out of office. That's all they've got. I mean, I already see that narrative playing out today. So my
it's not gonna work.
I know, okay. I think that it is very likely to work if Democrats don't consider opening that can of worms completely and doing a real comprehensive investigation into everything. Don't Robert Mueller this, right? This should not be limited in scope. Yes, this story regarding the president of Ukraine is huge, but I don't think that should be the only thing they focus on. I think they should definitely expand the scope. They should focus on violations of the Emoluments Clause. They should focus on financial crimes. They should focus on possible elections crimes like hush money payments, like everything you just said. But they also need to be better and more aggressive in their messaging, because it's not just about Donald Trump, it's also about ensuring that the electorate understands the importance of what's going on here.
Yeah, so look, never underestimate the ability of Democratic leadership to bungle anything. I hear you. On messaging, they'll probably be horrible. So it's a bungle off. Okay, who's gonna bungle it worse? But Trump is blaring from the rooftop, I did it. I did it. So he's ironically helping their messaging. In Napolitano on Fox News today going, well, that's definitely a crime. Even Steve Doocy was like, that would be off the rails. So man, he's hurt already and doesn't know it. But the last thing is, and this is important, guys, before Pelosi had all of her chips on not impeaching, okay? So all she cares about is her own career. And look, that applies, it's not to pick on her too much, it applies to it used to be 99% of politicians, now 95% of politicians, right? And so everything was invested in, it is such a genius move not to impeach. But now that she's taken the action to impeach, that equation completely flips. So now Pelosi, the Schiff, and all those guys now will shift over to, it was a genius decision to impeach. So if we're gonna impeach, we gotta go. We gotta prove that this was the right decision. So now they'll push everything, including the media, to say that impeachment was the right move. And so they'll be invested in getting that right. So we'll see if that winds up working. I'm not putting like my bet on Pelosi or Democratic leadership. That'd be crazy. I'm putting my bet on Trump has done so many terrible things that all you gotta do is find out 5% of it. We already know all the things we listed, plus the things you don't know are even worse. All you gotta do is do like a quarter of a decent job at impeachment to get him. And so I think that all this stuff will come out with blinding speed is my guess. Now that's bold to say blinding speed. I hear you on that.
The most optimistic person on the planet.
I'm telling you, but when Trump goes down, it will be so quick. In the words of Trump, it'll make your head spin. As I told you on day one of his presidency, one day you're gonna wake up and somebody's gonna tell you Trump resigned. And you're gonna be like, what? No, that can't be true. It is gonna be true. He is gonna resign. He's not gonna make it. Tick, 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 tick. Tick, 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 tick.
Cenk.
Here we go. Game on. On the go? Don't worry, we got you covered. You can still listen to TYT at our new podcast network. Find us on Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store, or at tyt.com/podcast.